Okay, I wanted to welcome everybody. So you are tuning into Redlands and Henry Bush. We got something new.
Man, let's bring it down.
What is it, right?
Tearing down the house.
Yep. So we're launching our new podcast. This thing is going to be a mixture of YouTube. Everybody follows our social media. If you do that, you see what we do. So we want to do something where we can talk with our techs, bring some guests.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of times our customers, they see us maybe once a year. Hopefully only once a year,
right.
Maybe, every couple of years. And what a way to kind of get a behind the scenes, right? Like, it kind of stinks in today's world, the lack of human interaction, right? I mean, You call a company, here, talk to the computer, right? You want some ideas about something, you want some just, there's not that human touch
that's
now out there. And
you're going to AI now. Everything's doing
which is even, and that's, and we don't want that. The thing I love about Redlands and Henry Bush is that we've been around for 128 years, right? There's only one reason we've gotten there, from doing it right, and from kicking butt and taking names. But, one of the things I really love about working here is that we want to give that big city application, but with that small town feeling, right? It's kind of like that in my brain, I'm 50, one of my younger life memories is watching that Andy Griffith show every day, right? And the thing I really loved about that show is, man, everybody knew everybody, right? And, I don't think people struggled for that need to feel like they fit in and they knew where they were at and they knew the people that were going to serve them and take care of them. And hopefully this podcast is just a kind of an extension of that, where people can kind of feel like they might get to know Redlands Plumbing and Heating and Air a little bit more. They might actually see the technician that they know has been in their home, and what an opportunity just to kind of create some of that camaraderie, right? And
that's kind of together. That's what I was thinking too. And it's like, it's so impersonal now. And for those of you who don't know, our focus is to you think, who wants to hear about plumbing and HVAC? I mean, how do you make that interesting, right? Right. So this show, the focus is to talk about that, give maybe some tips and some things and information about what you can do to keep your home healthy and comfortable. But we also want to make this personal, where you get to know our team and see what goes on back here.
Yeah,
we talk about and have some light conversation about it. So we kind of give an insight to people who.
Yeah, I want to speak to a piece of what you just said. We do want to talk a little bit about it, about the physical plumbing and heating, because one of the things that I think a lot of homeowners really don't understand is that there are a lot of things they can do to help protect themselves, right? And to help have that vitality inside that home that they really want to have. And, I make the joke a lot of times with our customers that, when you go out to buy a car, I think all of us can remember standing around that first car that we got, and remember standing around there with our parents, and man, your dad was on it about, hey, every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, you need to change the oil. At 60,000 miles, you got to change that transmission fluid. If you're going to go on a big trip, make sure you check your fluids, check your tank. But then here's the funny part. I look back when I bought my first house. I think it was 2000. The year was 2000, I believe. I was buying my first house, and nobody told me anything. I mean, here I am buying something that cost probably 20 times what that first little car I bought cost, but nobody gave me any advice about how to take care of that investment. And I hope through, some of these fun things that we do, that, our clients can pick up some of those small things that they can do, because man, usually when we get there, it's too late. The disasters happened. And it'd be really cool to know that hopefully from something like this, we kept somebody away from one of those.
Yeah, well, I think our values speak to the fact that our customer comes first, right?
Right.
We're not out there trying to just make a buck on something. At the end of the day, the important part is that they're taken care of. And whether that means that they learn something from us and they can do something to help themselves, or we help them along with it, that's I think kind of the value in this whole thing.
Absolutely.
Before we get into all that, I just completely forgot. Why don't you tell me who you are and tell everybody about you?
Yeah. Well, good. Thanks, Mike. So my name is Marshall Mathis. I am the service manager for Redlands and Henry Bush. So we have two sides of our company. We have a construction side that we have a manager that leads that up named Justin, and he does an amazing job. The service side is everybody that comes into your home. So whether it's one of our HVAC or heating and cooling technicians, whether it's one of our plumbers, or maybe it's even our maintenance technician, all those guys kind of come up through the department, and that's the department that I am honored to get to lead and run. With that being said, I'm also the company trainer, so I do a lot of training with the guys. We want to
hype man.
The hype man, yeah.
People ask, they go, "What does Marshall say?" I go, "Well,
He's the cheerleader.
He's the hype man, dude. That's what it is."
Yeah, I've led a lot of teams, Mike. I've whether it was the military, well over 20 years ago now, the military, and ever since my military career, after that, I've always been in some type of leadership, and that's just been a blessing that I've had, and I love that, and I don't take it for granted. The older I get, actually, the more fun that gets. My wife calls it the changing of the guard. The roles that I play now, sometimes I feel more like a father and a coach than a manager. And I actually like that. And, managing usually means that something's going wrong and we're having to manage to that specific problem. Coaching and mentoring is actually where I really love, working with these young guys coming into the trades, which, man, there's such a blessing to be in the trades, man. It's a sometimes a thankless job, sometimes a very it's a hard job, I'll tell you that. There's long days, long nights. We have to be available when our customers have that urgent need, and to get to coach these young men through those. We're going into some of our customers' homes when they're having their worst day. The problems happen, the disasters happen, and here we show up. And so teaching our guys how to really work through that process and how do we become that best company to have in your home. That's the blessing that I have on the team, is to get to help lead that process. And I've been here going on 7 years now, been in the industry well over almost 2 decades, and just love what we do.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing because my kids ask, when you think of not being in the industry, you think of, what does this look like as a job? What is a company that does plumbing and HVAC? You think from the outside, it's just a bunch of dudes coming in dirty every day, and they just are out there working their ass off, which our guys do. But the funny part is it's a family here. Everybody is so close. It's such a different thing than just plumbing and just HVAC. It's all about everything starts. I think 75% of it is the team and the family feel, and getting everybody on board, making sure everybody's taken care of, and then we're passing that along to our customers. It's amazing how much closer this is than anywhere else I've ever worked.
Yeah. That starts with the owner. He creates that environment, and the managers that he's hired to lead his different divisions. He has a certain look that he wants for that team, and it's the way I lead my team. We have 2 attitudes that we try to live by on a daily basis, and it's that attitude of gratitude and that attitude of servitude. We really want to make sure that, the problems happened. We got to be the right people to fix it. And so it's a beautiful thing. It's funny how much there is to these trades. I think sometimes you just think, it's just guys coming out here to fix some pipes. Well, I wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
I know when I first got into the industries, I was like, man, is there really that much to it? But day after day, you're just surprised about how much it takes to be good at what we do. And it's an ever-changing industry. There's no stagnant in this industry. No. Things are changing. We're about to hit another change in the HVAC world coming up here in January 2025. New equipment, new refrigerant, new all kinds of stuff. And with those comes another quick, steep learning curve that our guys have to be trained at, learn through, be able to explain to a customer, be able to work with it safely. So I give it up for these young men and women. We don't have any young ladies that work for us right now, but in the service industry side, but I have in the past, and I give it up to them, man. It's a really in-depth industry that takes a lot of talent and resilience. You have to be able to continually grow yourself, because if you don't in this industry, the industry will quickly leave you behind.
Yeah, a lot of pieces of that puzzle.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot. That's why I think it takes years to really become a proficient HVAC tech or a plumbing tech.
So let me flip the tables on you, Mike. What's your role here, bud?
So my name is Mike Davidson. I've been with the company for actually 1 year, and January 15th is coming up, man. So almost there.
Dude.
I come from a different industry. So I've always owned my own businesses and come from the vehicle wrap industry, the car, everything's been car related for me. It's always been from either owning companies that do events, or we do wraps, or a cookie business. It's been a lot of things. But with that comes my marketing experience, which I've always had to do on my own. I've never really hired somebody to do that for our companies. So that was something that a year ago I looked, I was looking for a change in industry and something, and this came up. Ended up here and just applying my skills to this thing. That was the biggest challenge, though, is this thing. It still is. It's how do you make plumbing and HVAC interesting?
Yeah. Well, you've done a great job. I mean, you've definitely been great at what you do.
Well, it's just kind of part of what makes the job easier is our team. And so, because without the closeness, and I talked to Tyler and some other people about this, and they've said, hey, it's hard to find a marketing guy that connects with your technicians because it's the office side versus the field, and so to get that, so intentionally, I've always inserted myself in there and really gotten to know these guys and like them. And so it's made my job a lot easier because I can bring them into the fold and we make it personal with all the marketing stuff we're doing.
Absolutely. And, it's funny because I think it's so important for you to know our client side of it, understand the technical side of it, understand the management side of it. And you kind of get to bridge that gap between all of us, right? So it's been a fun experience.
Yeah. For those who don't know, this company's been here for since 1898, right?
128 years, 126, whatever it is. Yeah.
I mean, talk about longevity. It's just wild that is. We have a picture from back in it's from the first year or two, and it was a black and white photo. It's just
what's crazy,
mind-boggling.
Yeah, what's crazy is looking at some of the historic buildings around here that we did the plumbing on those buildings. Cool. It's kind of neat to have that type of legacy inside.
Probably had our hands in most of these things are buildings, right?
If we haven't, we will at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So another thing, for those of you who don't know, if you can tell by this is our initial podcast. It's actually kind of like our test to see how this goes. We're working out the bugs. We're trying to figure out how to make this work and see how it flows. But this place is going to look a lot different as we get going. I mean, it's right now you can probably hear it's a little hollow. We're going to thicken up the walls, put some things down, get some a monitor in here, and make this place look really cool because we're really investing in this, and our owner is invested in this to give you guys some good information, to get our team closer, another tool that we have.
Yeah, and I really like the thought of the spotlight on some of our guys,
Yeah.
Really talking about who they are, what they represent out there. That's the people that, you guys are the customers are dealing with on a daily basis, right? I'm just the big mouth back in the office, the cheerleader. Mike's the marketing guy, but who's walking that walk on a daily basis, and who's walking into your home today or tomorrow? And that's kind of exciting to get to know those guys and what they represent out there. So I'm excited to bring some of those guys in.
Me too. I think that's going to be fun. I hope it'll help bring some of them out of their shell too. It'll let them sit here and have some free form chat with us. And hopefully it goes well. When I told some of them it was a look of terror for some, and the others it was excitement. But we're going to have. I think Noah will be a pretty regular part of this,
absolutely. Right? He's my field service supervisor out there, so he's kind of my right hand man out in the field. We'll have Wes in here. Wes is our technical advisor. Wes. Amazing story there, and so we'll probably dive into that more when he's in here.
How long's he been here?
41 years with the team, man. I mean, I was 9 years old when that guy started, and it's crazy to think that. I was sitting in that probably would have been my second or third grade.
Yeah, and he was wild to think about.
He was starting here. I mean, how crazy is that?
Yeah. Well, that speaks to the longevity of this place and the kind of work environment we have. I think we have a lot of guys that have been here for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we have
Brian's getting ready to.
He's retired. What was he at? 38 years or 30?
28, I think it was.
28?
Yeah,
28 here. 28. Yeah, 28 here. Been in the industry for almost 4 decades. I mean, how crazy!
Nuts, man.
But that's the beauty. These young gentlemen that we're going to be meeting coming up, our technicians. That's the luxury that they've had working here. Is they've had all those years. Of training going into them, because those guys are all crucial parts of our company, right? Brian has been leading our install department and training all those young technicians. Wes is up to last year was my right hand man inside the service department, so he was, and he still is today, doing all the technical training and getting these young guys up to where they need to be from a technical standpoint. So what a great thing to be able to have that type of longevity.
Yeah, it's pretty cool
to teach you. Yeah, and heck, the owner himself has been here, over 30 something years.
Yeah, Tyler's story is what he started here when he was 18 or something like that.
I think he was younger. I think he was 16.
Was he really?
While we were in high school, I believe he started working here kind of as a yard guy working in the warehouse doing that
Yep.
kind of stuff, and
From the
now
bottom
he's
to the top.
of the company. Yeah, he is that true story.
Yeah, that's the American Dream story. Man. That's
Right,
what this
it is.
that definitely growing to take it over is
That's
something
awesome.
else. What speak to me a little bit about what services we offer. So we do residential commercials. For those who don't know, what type of service we offer and
So,
what
yeah.
we dip our hands in.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously we do the plumbing side. We do everything really from the residential plumbing side. Whether you're looking at water heaters, and maybe you're thinking, hey, it's time to maybe change out my water heater, or hey, I've kind of contemplating going tankless. Well, we'd love to come out and help you with that. Look at that, what that really looks like to change over to a tankless. We do remodels. We partner with homeowners sometimes we'll do a whole new bathroom, right? And they're redoing that bathroom. And we definitely have some construction partners and us that get together and help with that type of thing. We do repipes. Repipes are one of the largest things that we do. We actually have an in-house repipe division. We have a gentleman, Alfredo, that kind of leads that up for us. And what that's looking at is, unfortunately here in Redlands, Yucaipa, Loma Linda, we have a lot of houses built in the 40s, 50s, 60s,
Yeah.
and even earlier, right? And these homes are at that point in their life where they have 70, 80, 90-year-old piping, and that piping has fallen apart. And it's kind of time to, get down and, put some new guts into that house, right? It's one thing. A lot of these houses, unfortunately, the flipper will buy them and they'll put some lipstick on the pig, right? It looks great on the outside, but homeowner's been there for a couple of weeks, couple of months, and all of a sudden they're experiencing some pretty.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting area that we're in because Redlands is such a historic town, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's different than going to some town that's fairly new in the grand scheme of things and the type of work that we do.
Oh, yeah. These are old houses. I mean, we have a lot of old pipe in the ground. Unfortunately, the old pipe in the ground comes with its own challenges,
Sure.
right? So, I mean, we go across the board when it comes to plumbing, even down to just small little things like, hey, I have a clogged toilet, or hey, I got a kitchen sink, anything and everything pretty much from the residential plumbing. Now, on the HVAC side, we do commercial and residential. Primarily, I would say residential is about 80% of our business. And we are a preferred carrier dealer. But we maintenance and maintain all different types of systems. So whether a homeowner has a Lennox or a Bryant or a Carrier or you name it, we're going to be out there servicing that unit. We have 4 HVAC technicians and 1 maintenance service technician that are out there servicing on a daily basis. And so we have a membership, and I'm sure we'll talk about that one day. We have a membership plan that we have a good amount of our homeowners that are on the membership plan, which allows us to do that maintenance and that servicing on all those pieces of equipment.
I'd like to speak on that, just briefly gloss over that, because that is something that maintenance program is like, I swear by it. I think that is one of the most important things we can do. I think, we have a great program. We've spent some time revising and revamping that thing. Not only because it's good to bring, new customers and existing customers into our family where they're a part of it, that we reach out to them to make sure they're taken care of, but also, that maintenance thing saves people thousands and they don't realize it. It's just shocking how good that is.
I can't tell you how many days we go out to our clients' homes. I do a lot of ride-alongs. I'm out in the field a lot of the time. And unfortunately, man, we get there and it is that bad day. The damage has happened. I can't tell you how many homes we go into and that water heater has let loose. And now we got a 3-room area that is, unfortunately, the drywall's taken up to about the 4-foot level. They got fans in there. They got carpet torn out. They got tile torn out. That customer's going through it, right? And it stinks because if they were on a maintenance plan, whether it's with us or another company, they got to be on some type of maintenance plan and protecting themselves, because they would have been able to easily tell, hey, this water heater is at X age.
Yep.
Hey, we can see the wear and tear. They're doing the flushes. They're checking the anode rod. They're checking all those things. And they could have protected themselves. And now, here's the sad reality. We go out there. They've already had to pay out whatever their deductible was, $2,500, whatever it was for their deductible. And now their insurance rates are going to go up, and that's never going to go back down. Once the insurance company gets more from you, they're not going to give it back. So their insurance rates are going up, and they still have to pay for a new water heater.
Yeah.
And I just hate that for our customers because it's I mean, what a bad day. That's a day that nobody wants. And, our guys really take it to heart that our job is to help you prevent that.
Yeah.
Prevent the preventable.
Yeah. Well, that thing, there's so many things that they can be added to that to make sure that our customers are preventing problems like that. I mean, it happened to me. Our house we came home to a half flooded house. The entire side of the house where the kids were was like $25,000 in damage, and it was preventable completely. So there's a lot of things. One of our episodes will probably be something completely dedicated to that, the moan flow, all the kind of stuff like that.
For sure.
But yeah, that's an important one. So I want to touch on that. If you guys don't follow us, come over and check out plummingandair.com. That's our website.
Yep.
You can see us on all social media channels at Redlands and Henry Bush. That's across the board: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything. What do you got going on for the holidays? You got anything coming up?
Yeah, well, I married into a Hispanic family. So
I heard that you do not like Christmas movies, my friend. I was a little disappointed in you.
I am kind of the bah humbug. I'm really not into the commercialization of Christmas. I think sometimes the true meaning of Christmas gets lost. I kind of struggle with that a little bit. My pastor said some things these last couple of weeks. It's kind of put me back into a better perspective for that. But for us, I mean, we kind of do the tamales for Christmas. So coming up,
something a little different.
Yeah, next weekend we have. I only get to be the masa spreader, so I'll be out there spreading masa and fighting with my mother-in-law about how much meat to put in into the tamales. I'm not the biggest tamale fan, but
that's funny because a lot of people, most people we meet, it's all turkey, and the traditional we do lasagna. It's the same thing. So Thanksgiving is turkey. We're always going to my in-laws' house, and she makes her homemade lasagna. So it's cool. It kind of mixes it up.
Yeah. We do tamales. Then usually we'll do. It's always the same thing. There will be Christmas Vacation on the TV while we're cooking them. I think my wife most likely will have us watch that at least 10 times before Christmas.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've watched it 5 already, so I'm right there.
I can quote that thing, not because I want to, but
well, your wife, when we were talking the other night at the party, said we're kindred spirits with the Christmas movie thing. Because dude, they're from like December 1 on is like Christmas movie central. There's nothing else that goes on there.
My dad,
you hate it.
Yeah, when my dad was alive, it was that Jimmy. What was his name?
Oh,
This Old Life.
Yeah, Miracle on 34th Street. Is that what? Or one of those old types. The one where it was snowing outside and he was going to visit all those. And my dad would just watch that over and over. That's hilarious.
For me, it wasn't. I don't know. People are different, right? It's comforting to a lot of people, right?
That's what it is for me.
That familiarity, right?
It's that December feel, holiday spirit.
And, I've never been like that. I do enjoy Christmas morning, watching my kids, the excitement. They usually wake me up way too dark.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And they're ready and they're snuggled around the Christmas tree. And, we have a little, we do have one thing that I like. My wife and I usually November, and this year I can say we actually haven't done it. We always buy matching PJs. So Christmas morning is matching PJ, and everybody's in their PJs, and we don't get out of PJs the whole day of Christmas. So Christmas for us is a stay-at-home day, which is really nice.
That is nice, dude.
And we stay at home, we enjoy each other's company, play with the new toys. Yeah. And just really kind of hang out with the fam, and I think that's a good part.
That's nice. We spend the morning at the house, and then we get up once everything's done, and we go to my in-laws, which is nice. I love going and hanging out with them, and so it's good both sides of that, But
we do that on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve we do the in-laws. We do the opening presents there. Okay. We do our Secret Santa. Our family's gotten big enough to where now we've drawn names.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, it's got too much. I mean, you were just spending crazy.
Oh, yeah, you can't buy everybody. We've gotten to the point where with our fans, we just it's all about being there, and it's the kids, but we do the same thing with all the kids. Get like a names put in a hat. We pick names, and then you go from there. But the adults, it's just too much.
That's the best way to do it. Hey, well, if we're going to be putting this out there, Mike, let them know that the 12 days of Christmas are coming.
It started today.
It started today?
Today was the first day. If you check, it'll be, by the time you guys hear this is going to be into it a little bit, but today is $50 off any plumbing repair. I think that's where we're at today. So
now, will they be able to use that any day within this 12 days of Christmas, or
They
is it
will.
only for today?
So the way the 12 days is going to work is starting today. We're releasing all these. We have a dedicated website page that actually goes to that, so you can go check it out. But they're going to be able to use these up to the end of December.
Cool. I told my wife that we were doing the 12 days, and she's like, "Oh my God, I love it!" And she's like, "You would have never thought of that." And I'm like, "I would not have thought."
Dude, I spent a lot of time. There's a lot of moving pieces to this one, but it came together, and it's pumped on it. If you look at see our billboard, it's got the countdown to Christmas on it.
Yeah, I saw that when I was driving by.
Yeah, we're doing that. But like, there's gonna be new emails going out every single day, and then the website opens up to a new one, along with direct mail cards that hit at the same time.
My wife was riding me. She said, "It's funny that Mike used you for the reader of that." And I go, "Why is that funny?" And she's like, "You're the biggest bomb."
Right? I know. I did that before I found out about that whole thing.
Yeah, I tell you, one of the things that you'll get to know about us all here is we are so different here on this team.
Yeah.
If you're talking about me and Wes and me and Dan and Mike and I probably are two of the most alike, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just high energy, ready to go guys.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of working here, and the beauty of this team is we do have so many different personalities, but man, it just seems to all flow and work, and it's been a great place.
Yeah, it does. We for those who are local to our area, speaking of winter and Christmas and all that, we do a lot of events during the year. So you'll find me and Lisa or somebody else from the staff that's out at these things. We just did the Winterfest in Yucaipa.
Yep.
I actually wanted to shout out Megan and Elise over in Yucaipa with the city. That is one of the best cities to work with. I mean, we literally have never worked. All of our cities we do events in are great, but man, they do a great job.
Yeah.
They put on this Winterfest. They have Santa Claus in there.
Yeah.
A whole cookie experience for the kids. I mean, it was.
I'm a Yucaipian, man. I moved
great.
up there 3 years ago, and I absolutely love
well,
Yucaipa.
You're right outside of a bigger city, but you feel like it's in like just an old town. It still has that old town feeling. But for 2025, we're putting our event thing together. So look for us out there. If you guys see us at the events and you happen to need service, come up and let us know, and we can give you. Usually, we'll be doing a promotional discount of some kind. We've always got goodies to give away. Something cool like that. So definitely look for us out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the big ones, just to name some of them off. Run through Redlands, Redlands Bicycle Classic.
Bicycle Classic's great, man.
We usually do, if they're doing anything for Easter, we'll usually partner up. Yeah. So, there's just some really good ones that we do. Every year we participate in the cancer walk. Just some of the really good stuff that goes on around.
Definitely. Any good stories, weird things you've seen in this field from your experience here?
Oh, man, I tell you, it's a fun industry because you get to kind of see the whole depths of. I mean, you're going into everybody's inner sanctum, mm-hmm. right? And so you get a. I think my favorite thing about working in this industry is getting to know people's story. I mean, honestly, I know that sounds silly, but
mm-hmm.
I grew up, and one of the greatest person in my life was my grandfather, and I've always been around a lot of elderly people in my life, and I love hearing the stories, and I love hearing, some of the, old time stories. And Redlands has so much of that mm-hmm. history to it, and a lot of our customers. One of the things that I really love is you go out, and we've been servicing this family for generations.
Yeah.
And so kind of hearing those stories and, you guys put that back in 19, cool. And it's like, oh my God, right?
My favorite is when I hear customers tell me, they're like, we had Johnny out or Jorge or anybody, and they're like, he was great, man. And we personally request him every time we do something. Yeah. I think that's different. I don't think I've ever had a company come to my house where I had a memorable experience where I thought, I need to request him again.
Right.
I mean, it just speaks to the leadership here and you and how we run this team and those guys and the guys themselves. I mean, their character is.
Well, I mean, look, that character is what we're looking for mm-hmm. when we're doing our hiring. It makes it a harder place to hire. Obviously, we only hire about 1 out of every 20 people that come to interview here. So it's a very low hiring percentage. But it's because we care so much about what we're putting out there.
Yeah, very intentional.
I mean, it's easy to go and hire somebody today.
Yeah.
But what are they going to put out there to our customer base? We didn't get to 126 years from just doing it. However, we're not going to start that now, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're very intentional about that, and it definitely works. But yeah, I mean, I think that's probably some of my favorite. I mean, really dealing with people who they love this city, and they there is just pride in their homes. I mean,
Very rooted here.
yeah, absolutely. And dealing with some of the really little idiosyncratic things that you find in a city like this, where they have a historic home, they want to keep it historic. So we have to find some very innovative ways to get things done, because this house was built in 18 whatever, and they don't want to change. So it's a difficult place sometimes to get projects done, but what an amazing thing when you get to be a part of that lineage.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, we don't have a name for this thing yet. So I have an idea. I've thrown some ideas out here. It's something we're going to talk about, obviously. I think we even ought to get the text involved in that.
Yeah.
My favorite so far, that from my input, is something like behind. What do they call it? Behind the wrench. Something that kind of speaks to that. We want to encourage everybody, if you guys are watching this thing or listening,
put a name out there.
Put a name out there. Yeah, let us know. We want to know. We want this thing to be what you guys want to hear, and that encompasses the name and everything else with it too, and some topic ideas. Yeah, a little preview.
I thought of a silly one the other night.
What's that?
Inside the red truck.
That's pretty good. Yeah, everybody knows about the big red trucks,
right?
That's pretty cool.
Just inside the red truck.
Dude, I like that.
What does that really mean, right? I mean, the tools that we use, the technicians that's in that truck, the history of the company. Just there's a lot to what's inside that truck, right? And we teach our guys that, right? Like one of the things that we consistently talk about is being the difference, right? So what's different about that big red truck coming down your street, right? And hopefully that's something that our clients feel, is they do feel that difference.
Yeah, definitely. So that kind of gives you a rundown. We kind of jumped around on a lot of topics of this thing. This is kind of an overview.
But you have two guys that have ADHD.
That's another problem too. There is no focus when it comes to that. It's just like squirrel.
Yeah, all over the place.
Yeah. So no, I think it's good. I think my intention today was we could talk about a little bit of everything and let people know kind of what we're going to be doing with this thing and an overview of that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I honestly think that. One of the best things that we could do, and I mean this with all my heart, is that if the clients would tell us, what do they want to hear about, right? I mean, topics that really mean something to them, right? Like, I'm just throwing something out here, like, when is it time to get a repipe? Or what does that look like? What is the I don't know what might be interesting to them, or, how many people out there might be thinking about, hey, I've got solar on my house. Should I go to a heat pump system? I don't know what those are, but what technical questions could we possibly put into a podcast that might get people to really feel like they got some value out of it? Because as much as we want to have fun with it, we want for it to be a value add as well, right? For there to be them to be able to get something from it. So we'd love to do that. Yeah, definitely. I think any input from people who are watching this thing, that's where it's at. We want to know what you guys want to hear, what you want to see. We're going to be putting this, you'll see it first on YouTube. That's where it's going to go. I think the plan is probably every Friday we're going to try to make this thing happen. How's that sound for you? I'm good with that. And then what we'll do is, for everybody listening, it's going to be probably a release. You can look forward to a new episode every Monday is what my plan is to get that thing out. Absolutely. But that is probably about all that I've got, man. You got anything you want to finish up? For getting it started, hey, just listen, if you see this and you have ideas, like Mike said, just hit us up in the comments and say, hey man, why don't you guys talk about this? We'd love to. I think that would be the fun feedback, is that feedback that kind of lets us know where they want us to go, right? And last but not least, if you ever have an issue, give us a call. Let us come out, let us serve you. What's our number? Show you our best place to reach us. 1-800-25-PLUMB.
Makes it easy. We don't just do plumbing, but we have an easy number to remember, right? Absolutely. Make sure you guys tune in. You can find out more about our life, our work, and everything in between with Redlands and Henry Bush. All right. See you guys later.